Welcome back. It is a beautiful Sunday morning here in the Rhondda Valleys. Just as I was filming that last shot, I saw something and I don't know, is this a buzzard? This is the best I could get because it was so far away. But I do know there are buzzards and falcons in the area, so maybe this is one of them. Well, it's Sunday morning and I'm hoping to go to the allotment shop and buy some bean poles for my runner beans. But the last few times I've been up here, it's been closed. So I'm hoping the sun has brought the shopkeeper out. This used to be a school across the road. No, it looks like it's closed again. I'll have to phone somebody and find out what the protocol is of this place. Well, the allotment sites are starting to green up here. I can see one or two people out tending to their land. And it's nice to see. I think I'm going to give up trying to go to the shop. Obviously they've got a different setup now, not like it was before. Doesn't matter if it was 6 foot of snow. Stan, the manager, would have opened up the shed. But anyway, they've lost my money now. I'll go down to the next allotment site and get some from down there. It's a bit too late now though, because they only open between 11 and 12 and now it's just coming up to 12. I haven't been down these steps for years. Look at this tree here. It's been here for hundreds of years. Beautiful specimen of a tree. But you'll see now what's fascinating about it when we go around the corner. It's been held up by a concrete post. That was put there in the 80s, I think. And it's held this tree up for all those years. It's surprisingly warm today. It's nice to come into the trees. And I've noticed, since I've been out and about this morning, a lot of the rhododendrons have come into flower. There's one just down there, just through the trees. And I remember when all this used to be a green field. Now it's the local school. So I'm not quite sure how we get down to the water from here now. This is where me and my cousin used to bring the dog down, throw a ball and go running in the field. So this is the first time I've been back. I can hear lots of movement in the undergrowth here. I'm guessing they're squirrels. Look at that tree up there. That's going to fall down at some point. The base of it appears completely hollow. So, where do we go then? I'm guessing there must be... Ah, right, okay. There's a little pathway here. But it's an absolutely glorious day. It's actually quite hot. All this used to be a green field as well. But they've made a bit of a hill now by putting some of the spoil. So I'm thinking there must be a way down here to get down to the river. As much as I like the sunshine, I do like a bit of shade as well. Look at all this brambles on the left. Plenty of blackberries come in the autumn. Right, so let's have a little trot down here. There we go, that's the river. I've just seen the bus go up the valley, which means it will come back down the valley in about 3 minutes. So I wonder, I'm tempted to jump on it and go down to Treorchy and have a Sunday lunch. Shall we do that, or shall we go for a walk? The traffic in Treorchy today is terrible. It took 45 minutes for the bus to get from one end to the other. They're doing some road works. So I don't think I will wait for the bus. I think I might just gently stroll home by the side of the river. Got a bit of hay fever. There's no buses for an hour. It's Sunday. So I thought I'd walk home. I'm walking down the industrial estate here. It's quite busy, in fact, with cars. Next Saturday, so the Saturday coming, for about a week I think, there will be no train service because the overhead wires are being switched on, which also means apparently you will not be able to access the mountains for a week. So I've heard that there's a project, the Welcome to the Woods project. You can't go there next for this week of the electrification because they've told people to stay away from the railway line. It'll be nice when it's all done and dusted. I was talking to somebody this week and they were complaining about how these look quite hideous. And I said, well, they're here now, just move on. There's no point complaining about something when it's been done and it's going to stay. And the thing is, give it a year and they'll weather. Oh, hold on, just dropped my camera box then. You just give it a year and the weather will make them a bit duller so they won't stand out. And in a very short space of time, people will forget that they're even there. I've always been fascinated by that field. I can hear the sheep, they're out, but there's a lot of reeds there, which tells me it's a bit of a boggy area. But look at the old-fashioned trees that were there long before the fir trees came. It's part of the farm, which is over the hill there, down there. So we're coming up to Anderswen Station. And I remember when this was built. But I found out the reason why it looks so awful, it's not just because of the development, it's because they're changing the whole situation here. At the moment it's a single line from Treorchy to Treherbert, But this is where there is double line. So if you're going from Treorchy to Treherbert, you will get off on the left-hand platform, which will be in the woods. Then you'll have to walk over a bridge to get out of the station. And then if you're going down to Treorchy and beyond, you'd catch the platform on this side of the train. So all this is part of the development to have more trains. So at the moment there's 2 an hour, and then we'll have 4, one every 15 minutes. One thing I noticed about being back is when I left, there was a certain type of fashion. Back in the 90s, you had your hair in a certain way. And since I've been back, I've observed that that fashion has come back into fashion. So it feels rather bizarre that I've got away 20 years plus, came back, and in that regard, nothing feels like it's changed. It would be very cool to be walking in the trees today. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of my day. We'll just take it as it comes. Could have brought my washing down with me. There it is. Penpeach. That's where we're heading. It would be glorious to be up the top of there today. I've always thought a cafe would go down a bomb up there. I quite like the mountain once they've taken the fir trees down. I was looking at my drone last night, and all this mountain here still had their trees. So they've taken all that down in 5 months. I think it looks rather beautiful. When I jumped on the scales this morning, I've put on a stone. I was trying to think what's changed in life. And since being back, I don't think I am walking as much as I was compared to London. Because in London, I lived in a house with 6 people. So I only really had food there and slept there. And a lot of the time was spent on the garden. And since being back, having my own place, I've quite enjoyed the space. So I don't think I'm out and about walking as much as I was in London. So from this point onwards, I think that is something I need to do a bit more of, is get out and walk, because the mountains are here, and now that we've got the good weather, so I'm going to try and walk every day this week in the morning. Doesn't matter, come rain or shine. Plan is to go for a walk up the mountain for an hour and back down again, and see if that makes any difference. Beautiful day. I'm certainly getting up a sweat here. But just listen to that peace. Wonderful. I might pop into the homestead on the way. I need to get a tables and chairs so I can just go and sit there. I've actually worked out a plan of where things are going, and hopefully this weekend, the guy who is leaving the site, this weekend, he is taking away the things that he wants to keep. So hopefully I'll start this week to put the beans in. It's hard to believe, isn't it? We're coming up to June. Beautiful. All the buttercups over here. Buttercup hump. Here we are. This is the river I used to play in as a child. But when I was a child, all these trees were really small. and my house was just beyond the trees there. So it does feel weird when I come down here. I don't come down here that often, but I can already see my house through the trees. There's washing on the line, and I don't know, it just feels a bit weird to be down here. It just feels that this area is in its own little cocoon of history. I can watch from afar. That's the family home, the family garden that we used to have next door to it. And it's very easy to imagine that life is the same there, but I'm not going to pop into the bubble. Let them get on with it as I merrily go along. All this used to be the sidings for the railway. There was a bridge there. I don't remember the bridge, but there was a bridge. And there was a massive coal heap here. Huge coal, dump of coal. But just look how quiet it is if you ignore this car that's about to go past. So my school was over there, and this all here, I remember all this before there were any trees here, and it's made up of coal spoil, and during the winter you would see steam coming off the coal. In fact, during the summer sometimes you would see it at the start of the day. Nice to see people out on their bikes. I need to get my bike out. Now I understand that the Ricos mountain that goes over into the next valley is closed in the evenings because of some work. So I thought, if that's true, I might go up the top and take you. I might cycle up, because I would imagine it's still open to cyclists. It's just cars that can't go over. So I'm just approaching the train station. On the right hand side we have Everest Window Factory, which unfortunately announced that it was closing a few weeks ago. So that means there is no industrial heart to Herbert anymore. So they're in the process of closing down, and everybody's been thrown out of their job. It's a big site, probably get turned into houses. That's all it is these days when there's a patch of land. Put houses there. Little spare bit of land, put houses there. But they don't improve the doctors or the dentist facilities in the area. I'm going to take you to Cardiff in a few weeks, so we'll be back down here for the train station. Oh, I'll be glad to get in now. Have a nice cold, warm cup of tea to cool me down. Does that really work? Or is that a load of baloney? Have a cup of tea, cools you down. Just walking through the park here, I understand they've spent £100,000 putting a baseball court here. Seems a bit of a waste of money to me. It would have been better spent doing up the entire park. But it's nice to walk through it. I was hoping the bowlers would be out. There used to be a small fence here, a picket fence. You could just lean on it and look at the roses. There they are. Lovely rose bed there. But it's very few times I've seen people actually play. I'll have to find out what time they are. Maybe I'll come and join them. Well, I just thought I'd call in, have a look at the land on the way home. As you can see, the previous person who had it has taken down one of the sheds and has trimmed. But it's nice and peaceful here. Be even more glorious if I had a nice cup of tea. Well, the temperature seems to be getting hotter, so I'm going to have a nice cup of tea and go and sit in the garden. So I'll catch up with you next time. So from me until then, bye for now and enjoy the weather.